veteran service officer, which we have here in town, and he's a county employee, and it's his job to help veterans get whatever benefits or exercise whatever rights they need to do. And we talked, and he said that he thought I needed to get into the system, if nothing else, to get an ID card and get geared up in case you ever needed the VA. And as we talked, he saw that I had a Purple Heart, and we talked a little bit. He said, well, you know that with a Purple Heart, you're entitled to be buried at Arlington Cemetery. And for some reason, that kind of hit me, and I thought about it, and I looked at him, and I had tears in my eyes, and I said, well, yeah, I suppose you're right, but I can't do that. I'm not worthy. And he just he said, you know, it'd be a good idea if we got you into a therapy group. So we did. And I've been there about 9 months or so. And, you know, it takes a while to get accustomed to these things because there's a lot of soul bearing, there's a lot of anger. Finally, I got to talking in therapy about the whole process. And boy, was I angry. It was, I would get started and I just feel this overpowering feeling of loss and tragedy grab hold of me, and I went through half a box of Kleenex. And after about the second time I did that, and it was pretty strong emotionally. And finally, after I dried out and put the Kleenex away, my therapist looked at me and she said, okay, you're angry. So what? What are you going to do about it? So that's why I'm here. You know, it's not much. You get to stand out here 1 or 2 hours a week, say what you got to say as passively as you can, speak to people that might be interested, and you know, it's like the old Chinese proverb, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So maybe this is the single step. I hope that it is. I hope there are more people that will somehow communicate to people, particularly elected officials, that we just don't want to waste any more lives, and certainly not our patrimony when we're so upside down financially speaking. It's terrible. Think what we can do with that money constructively. Gee, there's a great idea. Constructive instead of destructive.
That's a good point. I like what you said. I think the basic principle of the military is service.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's such an unpopular concept in our society.
It is, because, yeah, we've been, except for those that have been called to that and have answered that call, service is not something that's well known, except if you get into the much older generations. So, you know, I think it's unfortunate. Do we teach patriotism? Nah, that's a little heavy. That's a little old-fashioned. I don't know, maybe we're going to wise up here pretty soon.
What you're doing now is a form of service.
Well, perhaps so. I just feel that I got to find some way to say something. I got to do something, such as it is, however small it is. If I can just, you know, raise a little awareness, then I'm happy to do it.
You look sharp doing it.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Got to look good. It helps.
I really... Any questions you have, Brian?
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
I've never seen a protester that looks like you. You look like you're about to march in the Wings Corps parade. You look sharp.
I could, thank you. I'm in shape, too, because I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I'm going to get a letter from the commandant that says, I need your help. And I'll tell him you have a plane ticket for me, and I'll be there in 24 hours.
You mentioned being in shape, physical fitness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You still work out and exercise?
I do. I'm in the gym 3 days a week, lifting a lot of heavy weights. And the other 2 days, I'm out doing 30, 40 miles on my bicycle. I'm 69. Last year, I rode 2 bicycle century races and 4 half centuries. I got one coming up in April. Looking forward to it.
It keeps you young.
It does. And your outlook young, too, because you got to keep the younger guys at bay.
Right.
They're pushing you all the time.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, that's great. You got any questions, Brian?
Well, thank you.
Tell me your thoughts on that Marine captain that you spoke with.
I actually just met him, and I was walking by and saw him, and I had to talk to him. And I was very inspired. He just shows how anybody can take action. And you don't have to be a veteran. Any American citizen can do something. And he was out there, he was doing something, he was standing for what he believed in, expressing his citizenship and practicing democracy, and it really, really inspired me. And He just showed people we can always do more. He breaks all the stereotypes. He's a Marine. He identified himself as a Republican and as a Libertarian. He was pro-war for a long time, and then now he's a protester. And it just shows you never count people out. You never look at somebody and say, that person can't hear this message because that person is a Republican, that person's conservative, that person's liberal, Democrat, veteran, civilian. You can't ever look at people and count them out and think, well, this person isn't going to get it. Some people might not get it, but you'll always be surprised by people, and people will surprise you, and it's just very inspiring.
That somebody can change so late in life.
Right. That somebody can change so late in life, and that not just change their attitude, but move toward action. That's what it is. Not just, well, I had this opinion, now I have that opinion, but my viewpoint has changed, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm not just going to just sit around and be in the sidelines. I'm going to do whatever I can and try to make a difference.
So tell me how this Marine captain protester inspires you.
Well, he inspires me to not only wage peace, but to also stay in shape. And staying in shape can help us wage peace because working out is a way to build discipline and mental toughness. And it's important to try and stay healthy. I exercise outdoors sometimes, but for someone who's part black and part Asian, I sunburn pretty easily, and the sun gives me a lot of freckles in my face. Maybe that's from my father's white ancestors. But being mixed race and growing up in Alabama, I never really felt like I fit in. So